Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Drop Room. I am Darth Mike, as always. I'm joined by my constant co-host, who I can't seem to get rid of, Balti Baby. And we've got a very special guest for you this week, folks. It is the one, the only, the legendary Maui Snake.
Hey, what's up?
Sliding on in here.
What's up? What's up? It's Maui Snake in here, boys and girls.
He's too cool for school. But he's agreed to sit down with us for a little bit to tune in, to call in from a quarter of the world away. We were trying to do the math on like how far away he is.
It's a little bit. It's
a few thousand miles. It's a few thousand.
Just a few.
A little bit
like,
of distance.
Yeah.
Turns out he doesn't live in Maui. He lives in Oahu. So it's been a lie this whole time.
Fake.
Everyone's been tricked this whole time.
I've been deceived.
It's a ruse. It's a ruse.
It has to become the Oahu Snake now.
Maui Snake just rolls off the tongue better.
It does. I have to admit it does.
And now you got the Moana memes going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Moana.
Yeah. Hawaii's gotta go on that right now.
Have you integrated that into your branding yet?
Oh yeah. If when people follow and subscribe or even donate on my stream, it's like a GIF from the movie, and I took sound clips from the movie as well, so that it just like all matches it.
That's golden.
And we know he says GIF. Even though it's vastly superior to say GIF.
No, that's incorrect. GIF is correct. GIF is correct.
No.
Generated image format. GIF.
No. I think the creator of it said GIF, but it just doesn't roll off the tongue as well either.
It's wrong.
It's easier to say GIF.
Like the peanut butter.
If I say GIF, I have to just use a little bit more in my mouth.
It's not even spelled the same as the peanut butter. That's why it's different.
English is a fucked up language, okay?
I can agree to that.
What is that jersey, Darth? Ali's just roasting me in the chat for this jersey. The Bears are playing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's very important that I wear this. Last week was a little disappointing for me in that regard, but this week, you watch out, you Seahawks. Going down. They're going down.
Well, I mean, they suck. They should go down.
I know, it'll be really disappointing if they don't. But on to the thing that we're here to talk about, Counter-Strike. And more specifically, the thing we're here to talk about is you, Maui.
Yes, it's our one and only guest.
Time to put him in the spotlight a little bit. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty fine over here, I'd say.
What time is it over there? It's like noon? Something like that?
Yeah, it just hit noon over here.
All
right. It's hot. It's warm. But I'm still doing all right.
Are you on that esports time frame where you like wake up just now?
Actually, no. I have a pretty good sleep schedule.
Okay.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I go to bed around 11 to 1 every night, and I wake up at like 7 to 8. I don't know. It's pretty normal time, I think. Pretty normie.
You're a responsible human being.
You say normie, but it's so good, and I'm jealous. I wish I had that.
You hit a certain age, and it's like I can't do this anymore. Like
I envy the normies.
Regular hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had normie life.
So, one thing I want to ask, you've got a pretty interesting perspective coming into this particular season, because last season you were a player.
Yeah.
And now you're a caster, analyst, not player.
Content creator, whatever.
Yes,
I do it all. Everything but playing at this point.
Yeah, you're on the outside looking in now. So what's your perspective like coming into this season, having been a player and now taking on a completely different role?
Okay, as a caster, I guess, I'm more prone to watch every team, not just the teams I'm going to play. As a player, I would pretty much just watch teams to maybe anti-strat them or just kind of get a feel for their style. But now I'm going to still do that, but not in respect of anti-stratting them. I'm just going to think about, oh, okay, this is their play. This is probably going to be their likely next play. Things like that can aid in a cast or any kind of analysis segment. But yeah, it's not just so much like, okay, I have to peek this exact micro angle to make my op work like I was doing it 2 seasons ago or seasons ago. Yeah, but more just like, oh, Odorous likes to do this, So we're going to hope to see that this round, and then hype it up.
Is it sort of more like looking at big trends as opposed to the micro versus macro almost?
I still figure I'm going to do similar research that I did when I was anti-stratting, but it's going to be more about not like what it's just not, I'm not trying to counter them anymore. I'm just going to I'm just letting it all unfold and be able to, with what I researched, be able to just bring that up when I do a cast or something.
So this is sort of the third hat you've worn in terms of an analytical viewpoint, right? because you've been a player, anti-stratting specifically to improve your game and your team's game. You're a
Yeah.
caster now, breaking apart teams to integrate into the casting. And before that, / after that, I'm not sure if you cast before that or were a player. Simultaneous with some of the playing stuff, you were a research assistant for Thorin, so you were breaking down.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be mostly for professional settings. What he would do is Thorin would give me regular assignments, and he'd say something like, "Hey, tell me about every role Rush, the Cloud9 player, has been on for every team he's ever played for." So I would watch like at least 2 or 3 demos of every team he's ever been on. Okay, he was an entry fragger for this team. He was a support player for this team. He was an anchor on this team. He was a connector player for this team. He was a whatever he was, and I would learn just super in depth about specific players and teams. Like he was like, "Why is Envious bad right now?" And then I would just watch a bunch of their demos and tell them they suck because of these reasons, And so yeah, it's like it is a third hat. Yeah, it's different, but they all go hand in hand.
Yeah, but do you think that like going through those different, I guess there's different roles and there's different perspective has kind of shaped the way you watch film?
Oh yeah, definitely. I even made like a really brief thing on YouTube that was like really early on, was like how I watch demos as a player, how I watch it as an in-game leader, how I watch it as something, how I watch it as like as an analyst. There's different ways to view games depending on what your objective is from what you're trying to extract from it. As a player, you're usually just trying to up your own game, watch what a good player did. As a opposing player, you're trying to see the tendencies of a team. As someone who's just trying to analyze, you're just trying to see tendencies. You're trying to see how teams get map control, how they like to move themselves about the map, how they like to play late round situations, mid round situations. Do they even like to play mid round situations at all? Like Tyloo, for example, they don't like mid round, late round situations, so they just kind of deathball towards a bomb site. Things like that. That's what you learn as an analyst. But yeah, as a player, you just be like, here, I'm just gonna watch Bentet. Watch him out.
Yeah. Learn the Bentet ways. So quick plug here for the Maui Snake YouTube channel. It's just Maui Snake on YouTube, so check that out, folks.
That's all my stuff. It's just Twitch, Maui Snake, Twitter, Maui Snake, YouTube, Maui Snake. It's pretty easy to get the username right now. So
maybe
I got the same
was
thing.
Already taken. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe we never considered that.
Figured it out.
Yeah.
Crack the code.
Yeah. There we go, boys.
No, I actually made the username in like 2nd grade, and I didn't even. Oahu Snake never even came to mind, actually. But yeah.
That is the story, actually. I always like to ask people what the story behind the name is. Was it just like 2nd grade, like this is funny, or like was there a specific reason?
There was a specific reason. When I was in 2nd grade, I needed a username for I think RuneScape,
Yes.
or some web-based browser game or something like that. Maybe it was Neopets, maybe it was RuneScape.
I was
something.
gonna say, don't lie to us. It's Neopets.
Yeah.
All respect for Neopets.
Yeah, no, it was so fun to grind that. But yeah, and I needed some username, and I was playing this game before that called Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow. It's this really old Donald Duck-based DuckTales themed platformer game. And Maui Mallard, I like snakes more at the time. Plus, there's no snakes on any Hawaiian islands, so it kind of had this like double meaning, So it was like it just worked out. Everything worked out, and I think it's a pretty good username still.
This is some depth for the 2nd grade username.
Yeah,
no,
there's 2nd grade was big brain right there. This kid was 200 IQ already. So my questions are kind of more location based because you are living in Hawaii. So how has this kind of weather situation been working out over there for you?
Are you referring to like the recent typhoons or hurricanes?
Yeah,
or...
like the fact that it's pretty much like hurricane season right now, oddly enough.
Yeah, so other islands get really the brunt of it, and they're like the Big Island gets hit pretty hard. A few of the other islands get hit pretty hard, but they kind of absorb the hurricanes, and we just get light rain. It's kind of windy. It's really not that bad though. Like I went out on a day that a hurricane was supposed to hit. I just walked up to my local park and just kind of like, it's a nice breezy, very like drizzly day. It's not that bad at all.
Did you see the photo of the guy in Carolina when this latest hurricane hit, just in like swim trunks and nothing else, waving a flag, going whoa? That's what I'm picturing.
No, it's totally not that extreme over here. It's just like, oh, the trees are really rustling this evening. That's okay. It feels like once a year there's some kind of a natural disaster that plagues Hawaii, but it's always just like, oh my god, okay, everyone get ready for this month or like this flooding, or get ready for this tsunami or something. And then it's like we'll stock up on water, we'll just make sure everything's good, and we have like rations and things. But then it's like, okay, just nothing happened. And then this happens all the time, but eventually it's gonna happen, so you better just be prepared for it.
That's fair.
Yikes.
Yeah.
We got
And
some
then,
sandbags outside my door right now.
You got some what?
Sandbags. We thought we were gonna get a hurricane, and then it
Oh,
just
true.
demolished Carolina, and was like, "You're good, Maryland. You're good.
Yeah.
Chill."
That's good to hear at least. I think
as long as you're safe.
maybe my internet issues were because of the hurricane. Maybe that's
I
what
don't-
happened.
I
It
don't
kind of
see
carried
it.
over a little bit.
You're in
Maybe,
Canada.
I don't know. True, I am in Canada. I'm completely unaffected by the tides.
Doesn't make any sense.
All right, so the last question I had, because I did want to bring out the Thorin thing as well, just because I thought that was super interesting. But has your time difference ever come into question with like teams that you've been on or anything like that, or has it been pretty decent?
It's not particularly bad. I'd say, well, I didn't play as hardcore until I moved into the AZO team house, and when I was playing ESEA main and intermediate levels beneath that, I could just, and I was always the team leader, so I would just say we're playing on my schedule. So I mean that's just how it went, and everyone was okay with that because we would get in at least 3 scrims or whatever a day. When for main that's fine, really.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I do want to ask you about the AZO experience, because obviously moving from Hawaii to Oklahoma City, going into a team house, I mean, that was a pretty big jump. I saw you in the team at Tulsa, and we talked a bit about it, but that's a pretty wild jump, right? Like, what was that experience like?
Well, I've moved a few times in my life. I actually grew up in the Bay Area of California, 16 years there. I lived in New York City for 4 years as well. So I wasn't like shook by moving, but the Midwest is a different beast for sure. So I guess in terms of that and the location, I don't know, man. I know a lot of guys are out there, but the Midwest is depressing, okay? It's like, dude, the clouds out there. When you come from Hawaii, it's like, it's so beautiful. Every day I see the ocean. It's just great. It's like, sometimes it's rainy, but the rain feels good, and it's this nice humidity all the time, and everything's just great about the weather here. Over there, it was like the first time I was there was, I think, February, and it was just, the clouds were just a straight, like, I could not see where the sun was at all. And I just see this blanket of gray clouds ahead of me, and it was like, all right, it was like I get seasonal depression at this point now, because you're definitely just not getting the same amount of vitamin D that you're used to. So it was, in terms of personal well-being, it was kind of a shock. But in terms of the grind and the house, back to the Counter-Strike point of things, like, it was pretty cool. I mean, I got to play a lot more Counter-Strike than I ever did before. I was, just doing my homework with teams, and just we would play, I don't know, 4 scrims or 5 or whatever it was a day. We'd have good practices. It was a different, I mean, just the whole MDL experience was definitely a nice jump from main, and really opened my eyes as a player, and just like even as an analyst too, and everything. Like, I think it really helps just my perspective. If I didn't play that level, I don't think I would be kind of like as knowledgeable, I guess, as I am today, because you could just carry it over so well. So I think that all really helped.
So was it, I mean, from your perspective going into that, right? Like, it's a making the jump to competing at MDL to going to a team house, like, that's building your life around playing Counter-Strike, right? Like, that's making the jump of Counter-Strike is the thing I do to this is what I do.
It totally becomes your life at that point, and the work-life balance is a little awkward given that you're playing a game for, I don't know, roughly 6 to 8 hours a day, if not more, and then, like, what did you used to do to relax? You used to play more Counter-Strike, but now it's kind of like, because I just spent all that time playing Counter-Strike, do I really want to play more Counter-Strike? Mm-hmm. And in Hawaii, it's easy to just like, okay, I can just go outside now. It's okay. But in Oklahoma, it's like, what do I do?
Tulsa was nice. There was that like one. There were the bars that we went to in Tulsa. It was a good time.
Oh, Tulsa is I think I would consider it more of a real city than Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is it's basically a spread out suburb that's not dense at all. There's a downtown, but that's basically just a mall. And Tulsa at least has a real downtown, I'd say. And there's like cool like hip areas of Oklahoma City, but they're like a street. It's like one block, and it's just like, I don't know. I got out a lot actually, and was able to see what the city was and it was just It's okay. It's okay.
All right.
Let's say
Not a
a
fan of OKC.
disappointment. Maybe is the word.
Not a fan of OKC. Got the
Yeah.
verdict here. Maui's
Yeah.
travel recommendation is a fat to the Midwest.
Yeah.
Just, if you don't have any reason to go there, just don't do it.
Yeah, there's nobody
Oh.
vacations in the Midwest. Let's just say that.
Other than Chicago, yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. I think the one nice thing about Oklahoma is the big prop is that their onion burgers are pretty good. I knew that was like a local thing there, that they just basically use onions during the Depression or something. They didn't have enough meat, so they started just infusing onions into the burgers, and they started just like slapping them down, and just like basically it's a patty that's just like half onion, half burger, and they were pretty good. Everywhere I went that had them, I was like, wow, this is a really pretty awesome item. I'm gonna start
All
doing
right. So pan Oklahoma, except for the onion burgers.
this. Yeah, and you can just make these yourself. I made them myself after, and they're fine. But yeah, it was a good idea.
Next plan. So, any more questions to interrogate before we get into our topics a little bit?
All right, I think we interrogated him enough.
You got any questions for us, Maui? I know we have all the information here. Tips.
I guess just out of curiosity, like what, like I don't even know how old Balti Baby is, to be honest. How old are you?
Oh, I'm 19.
The
Okay.
baby part of
How-
his name is accurate.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
How old did you think I was?
Maybe like 20, 21. Maybe.
Oh, okay. I turned 20 in like 2.5 weeks. So
86.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He's an old
Sick.
soul.
I've actually never been asked that yet. That's amazing.
There you go. This is privileged information. It's out on
Yeah.
stream for the first time,
Yeah.
folks. We're cracking
Yes.
the case. The
I
mysteries
am
of vaulting.
confirmed legal in Canada.
Sick.
Legal
Yep.
for some things in the U.S.
Yeah, some things, not all things.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
getting into our topics, the big one to unpack this week is, of course, the major. Some wild things went down. Teams made legend who were not expected to make legend. Complexity was our Cinderella story, which I'm so very happy about. Holy
For
cow.
sure.
NA forever. We had some interesting losses. Some interesting 0-2 teams wound up being in a little bit of a place. We're going to see how some teams fare out of it, but let's dive right into it. First, we'll start with the teams that made legend. The one that I just talked about, hinted at, Complexity.
Massive.
Yeah, they've looked really good. They've
3-0.
Yeah, their CT sides are really hard to play against. You can tell they just smother teams with just constant re-aggressions. So it's real, like, I don't know, for the MIBR Complexity matchup, I think we can assume that the maps are going to be like Inferno, Mirage, Cache, just really basic maps, and all of those lend themselves to CT re-aggression. So I think Complexity does have a lot of upset potential here. Even though they were the 3-0 team going in, you wouldn't think they'd have to upset, but I think in terms of odds, that's what it says on HLTV. But it's pretty, I don't know, Ye's been so standout too. Stanislaw has been crazy. Like, and all these guys are hitting every shot. That's the craziest thing. Their re-aggression, it wouldn't work if they were just missing shots, but they're all just so confident all the time, it feels like. It's awesome to see.
Stanislaw's rewarding something that I've thought about him for a little while, back to his old Optic days, like the OG Optic, right? He was so good on that roster because he could trust everyone in the system to do what he wanted them to be doing, and that allowed him to play off of them. And I think he's found that again with Complexity. He's got a roster that respects him eminently, and that lets him play his best game, which
I think he should
results in him.
definitely be in discussion for best North American IGL again. I don't know who would even top him, right? I guess you'd say Nitro just because of Liquid's success,
Yeah.
but you don't really consider Nitro a pure IGL in the same sense. But he has been doing really well.
For sure.
And it's nice to see that like Stanislaw back at it again. Like he used to be like, was it not a general rule that like Stanislaw is probably the best IGL like at a time?
Yeah, during
At a
their
time
E-League run,
once.
E-League
Yeah.
Season 2 run, yeah, for sure.
And then kind of fell off the map a little bit, and now he's back at it again. But now UKCS Depp is going ham in London. He's doing it for the fans. It's all for the fans.
Def and Smooya both are doing a lot of work for both their teams. Smooya is like the
Surprisingly
highest
enough.
rated player at the whole major right now.
He's nuts.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, for sure.
UKCS is now on the map. And
as
yeah,
players,
cheers.
it's on
Yeah.
the map.
yeah, not as a team.
I don't think
you'd
you'd
like
say
endpoint in the major.
Yeah, I don't think you'd say like Bosnia CS is on the map just because Nico has been sick forever, you know. So, but
Individual Bosnian is on the
Yes,
map.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That one out of how many people that live in Bosnia?
Right.
They're on the map now, boys. That one guy. And then, as we alluded to, Liquid was the other 3-0 team, just because they're just popping off. They're looking so hot.
I think Liquid wins the major. I'm standing by that. Thoughts?
I think their first
yeah.
further matchups, Hellraisers, they're gonna smoke them. That's a 2-0. But then the next round, Astralis or FaZe, I actually right now think that FaZe would give them some trouble, but I think it's probably gonna be Astralis. And Astralis in the past has given them the work, but I don't know. We saw with that overtime game just how difficult it was for Liquid to put away Astralis that one time, and in a close game like that, I don't know. That can go either way a lot of the time. So
It's very true.
Liquid's struggling to put away a series. Where have we seen that before?
Yeah.
Well, same joke could be made about Astralis. I mean, Kerrigan's old Astralis, or TSM as they once were, was the Choke Kings for a long time.
That was like the semifinals curse for them, just always losing the semis or whatever.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's going to be the semis. We can repeat history.
Oh yeah. Oh right, that's true. Yeah, that actually is pretty fitting.
Throwback.
Yeah.
Throwback for Astralis. How wild would it be if North America wins 2 majors in a row?
It'd be dope for sure.
Maybe people will actually like take us seriously for a bit.
The next time someone spams NA Nade in my chat, I'll just ban them.
Yeah, just no. NA Flash is gonna mean a good thing in the future. It's gonna mean like, dude, they throw Complexity throws so many good supporting flashes for their teammates all the time. It's just crazy. And so like those are NA flashes, supporting flashes, I guess. They aren't the craziest like perfect lineups all the time, but it's the flash you need when you need it. You know, that's what they're really good at too.
So they're really good at the luck. That's what I like to hear from the
no
team.
They're
really good at the luck.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like I think Ye in one game had like 5 flash assists or something, and it's just like Ye, and like of all people to have this many.
Because he's their fragger, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they're really on point with just helping each other out with nades.
On a personal note, how awesome is it to watch Ye now in the major wrecking after watching him in Philadelphia dropping like 45 in a series?
Dude, and to have like I played against him in ESEA main too, and I interviewed him after the whole season was over. Like I was casting the finals and everything, and just to I don't know, it's so crazy. He's just skyrocketed. I knew he was gonna go pro after that ESEA main season. It was just like, how long is it gonna take, and how good is he gonna get? And now he's in the playoffs of a major. It's just so heartwarming.
It's insane. It's crazy. It's so cool too. It's also just so nice to see like the pure joy on his face after every match. I mean, I know Reddit's making memes of it, but it really is like, holy crap. This is the dream. He's the American dream. He is the American dream.
Yeah.
I think the memes are laughing with him, not at him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're really enthralled by him too.
This is the new American dream. Come from shitter NA status to playoffs of a major.
And I mean, they have probably the best matchup.
You think against
MIBR?
To play MIBR?
Yeah.
I think they would have rather gotten Hellraisers.
Yeah,
but,
I would say.
Like,
I'd still say it's pretty favorable.
Yeah, I think MIBR is actually better for them than a lot of teams would have been, for sure.
So semifinals guaranteed. Here we go, boys. Complexity. Complexity.
I think it's about a lot of it's. I think Complexity right now is for sure the better team. I think a lot of it's about their composure, because they make a lot of the right play throughout the Legends stage or the
Challenger stage.
I think now we're in the Legends stage. I'm unclear. It's the new Challengers, the Challengers, and then the Legends. So we're in Legends now.
Okay, so in the Challenger stage where the Swiss system where they went 3-0.
Yeah.
They were looking just so on point, like I was saying about their nade work, and they were hitting every shot. And now though, when it's the playoffs of a major, I don't know if that's going to sink in for a couple of these players, but like Ye always plays with the most ridiculous confidence, and I don't know, playoffs of a major, will he bring the same confidence or not? I really hope to see so. And I hope that Stanislaw has that confidence too. Like, he was super confident too. He was just picking up the op and just whipping it around on G2 and just whoever they were playing against. Like, he was hitting some nasty shots, just re-peaking with the op and everything. And I was like, when did Stan do this before? Like, so when did he get so confident against teams like this? But now he's just imposing himself on teams. And I don't, you just got to hope to see it in the playoffs.
I kind of wonder if part of it is just the fact that up until this point in the major, there's really been no expectations for the roster. They didn't come into it. No one thought they were going to do anything. So it's like everything they get is cake. Everything they get is icing on top.
Yeah.
And now maybe it sets in that it's like, holy crap, we could get a major.
We could get the whole cake. We're not just,
Yeah, they've been playing with house money this whole time.
So we'll see how far that house money can take them. It's pretty exciting.
It's nice
Very
to see,
exciting.
it's nice to hear that comment about Ye, how he's super confident in every fight that he'll take, and it's that's just classic NA. Going to any pug,
Yeah.
every single kid is just I'm peeking everybody because I'm just better. But that's actually Ye right now. He's
really-
every pug god's dream.
It seriously is. He'll just take the most ridiculous spot that you have to juggle between, and he'll just make it work. The only other person I've really seen do that in this major is Issa. He's been just juggling spots like crazy with a rifle, and Ye does the exact same thing. It's so sick to watch them both.
Hellraisers is a similar kind of storyline where no one had major expectations for them coming into this. Woxic and Issa have just been such a dynamic duo. Issa's nuts. I mean, really,
It's because they just
is.
dominated their region of a bunch of guys that aren't that crazy. That Issa with the Middle East, I can't name that many players that are from the Middle East, but from the few games that I've seen him play in Middle Eastern teams, he's so far above the rest that it's he shouldn't be playing in this region. And it was kind of the same with Woxic. He wasn't even on Space Soldiers, and he was just dominating with his team. I think Dark Passage at the time. And it's he's just so far above his team and even Space Soldiers that it's time for him to just leave.
Well,
But
it's good
still,
to see him on a team that made playoffs now.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, coming out, even Hellraisers was going through a huge slump. For a while, they were the perennial upset team where they'd come to a tournament, do better than anyone expected, and then sort of fade away for a while and rinse, repeat the cycle. But they had
flip
sort of,
side. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're the new flip side. But they were flip side, and then it was flip side, and then it was
Yeah.
They sort of
I don't
swapped
even remember all the roster changes and everything. Yeah.
But this iteration, it's really good to see them just perform to this level. It's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I think last week I talked about the fact that I've always liked Dead Fox, and I don't know why. It's possibly because it's just a good name. But
It is a really good name. He even did you guys see his Twitter post recently, or the translated post that someone posted on Reddit? It was
what was this?
it just came out I think today, and it was everyone tells me that I am shit because I have negative KDs, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes and what I am providing to this team. We don't just walk into a major playoffs by accident or something. And it was I'm gonna be real. Dead Fox before Woxic and Issa on this team, you were really bad. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, he was
He was awful.
He was awful.
Would you say this
Yeah.
was his Yole noob moment?
Yeah, I guess it's just his his resurgence, I suppose. But he's enabling his teammates, but I guess he's been enabling bad teammates before this or something. I don't. Yeah. But
That's the only way you can describe it.
yeah, but you make a major playoffs though. You have a little bit to say. You can glow just a little bit.
Oh
so.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Nothing to take away from him there.
But then you draw
Absolutely
Liquid,
not.
so the dream is it's gonna be looking rough.
Still made playoffs.
Still made exactly.
Yeah.
At least he has that.
Secured
on
that
his chest.
bag. Do you know what
Yeah.
that is though? That's guaranteeing job security for at least 3 of you. 100%
sure.
job security till the next
Yeah.
major for 3
Mhm.
players.
Yeah.
Woxic, Issa, and somebody else. Never
I-
getting cut.
Let's just hope it's not Dead Fox, I guess, in his case.
Yeah, I would say Angel, but yeah,
Probably
Bondic's been really unimpressive, also. But
For a while.
yeah.
For too long.
Who they played on Dust 2, some team, and he got literally 1 headshot in a double overtime game or something, and I was just like, what is it? What? Or it was no, it was 25 rounds or something. It wasn't a double overtime game, and it was how do you get 1 headshot in that many rounds? I'm sorry, but that's just really unacceptable for a mechanical standpoint. So
I see a question in the chat. I actually do want to pull up because it is a good question. Agony's very insistent that we answer this question. But when you said that, going back to Complexity a little bit and going back to Ye, when you said that you interviewed him after main and you were like, this kid's going pro, what was it about him at that time that made you think this kid's going pro eventually?
His ability to handle just micro situations, that being, for example, being one of the only players in main at the time that could handle actually playing connector with a rifle. That's just being really specific. He was one of the only people that could just be in connector and expect to get 2-3 kills and then just stay in connector, and he's just a pest for the whole round. That's not something that anyone else at that level was able to do, and it just was so apparent that his multi-frag potential with no help at all was so fine-tuned, just because his movement was really good, his aim was really good. He knew exactly when to peek people, and it was just it wasn't even like he was just headshotting everyone all the time. Like sometimes he would body shot them too, and I don't know, just his like velocity on killing people was just out the roof. It was just crazy. So
all right, hark back. Now we're back into what we're talking about. Moving on from in the CIS region, sticking regional. Na'Vi drop one map, but they look real good. They look strong.
I mean,
yeah, I'd say they look stronger like 4 months ago or 5 months ago.
Yeah, when they went through that final run where they just made finals of every tournament and won them all.
Yeah, but they're still really good, obviously. I don't feel like I see major championship potential in them right now. It doesn't seem like they're well versed enough for every situation. That's something also going back to complexity. It seems like they're so well versed for everything. Anything that's thrown their way, they just have a response for it, and it's instant. With Na'Vi, sometimes it takes them a little while to deliberate on a plan and then execute that plan. And I don't know if that's just because they're so heavily reliant on what everything Zeus is calling, or these players just don't have a lot of freedom by themselves where they can call their own spaces out. But it's not as fast as like when Zeus made his Gambit run. It felt like anytime something happened, they reacted to it with this like giant team-based play that was like very objective focused. Like, okay, something doesn't go right on one side of the map. Here is our response because we know how to handle every 4v5. When Simple dies, I don't think they have a response all the time for the round. They just
crap. Simple's dead. What do we do? Electronic, go kill.
Yeah,
yeah, and Electronic is like, I mean, he's really good at playing his spots, but he's like not good at just running out and killing everyone all the time. You know, sometimes in retakes he has some nutty clutches and everything, but in a T-side round, he's not the guy that's just opening it up for you consistently. That's just Simple. That's really just Simple, or their map control does that for them.
So the flip side of their matchup, Big, also looking very strong. Smooya, the other UKCS player, highest rated player at the majors, you were saying. Looking good, looking solid, looking fresh, looking like they're going to bring another UKCS player to the semis. What do you think?
I'm always a little just wary of teams where their one player is like the highest rated, or just it's really lopsided with their ratings and everything, because Smooya, I mean, despite him being sick, like those players on big stages can sometimes crumble. Just they'll miss one shot that they're not used to missing. It gets in their head, they miss that one shot, they miss another shot. It just spirals and tumbles down. And like Smooya is a success story from the FPL scene. He's at his house every day playing Counter-Strike. He's not in front of it. I mean, he's been on some big stages already, and they made that finals run recently.
Cologne, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so different to just be on the big stage of a major. Your heart's pumping, your hands are shaking, but you're still shooting, and sometimes you miss. So
especially when you're in front of a crowd that's all cheering for you. You're in London. These people are all gunning for you. So like you want to like give them a show, but like if you're trying too hard, you grip the mouse a little too hard.
I'm going to play devil's advocate on this, actually. I think Smooya's mentality is perhaps uniquely suited to counter that kind of a moment, because I think he has a weird mix of being incredibly cocky and having this insane bravado, coupled with self-awareness. Because he'll make jokes that are also at his own expense fairly constantly, and that's that sort of British mentality, or that British sense of humor of like taking the piss out of yourself as well as everyone else. That I think that paired with his cockiness means that he's going to maybe be a little less prone to the sort of mental lapses of holy shit, realizing the situation you're in and panicking as a result of that. I don't know.
I hope for the sake of good games you're right, but sometimes humor is just a like a facade for actually a very insecure man behind him.
Yeah, you put the smile front, you make people laugh, and inside you're just like, oh my
My
oh my
question
god,
was
the
big.
pressure.
My question with Big, and this is something I've been wondering, is last time they made a big major run in what was it? It was back in the PGL major with the jump boost and everything going on there, and that shenanigans where Big ran deep. Tabson was a god at that point, and he just doesn't feel the same right now. He does not have that insane fragging potential.
Tabson was the clear star of them back then, and they would admittedly set him up a lot. I was like, how is this guy doing this well? And it's because a teammate would always pull out a flash for him. I'm not even kidding. Like every time I saw Tabson do anything spectacular, it was predicated on a teammate throwing a good flash for him. And then even when he didn't have a flash, though, I think because he had so much confidence from racking up a 20 kill score line in like 15 rounds because he gets flashed into everything, like you're gonna be super confident taking the duels once again, just because, dude, I've been owning. Like I'm gonna keep owning. So little things like that just go so far, and just like how much you own, honestly. Yeah,
So
he's able to bring that without flashes.
So you think that role in the Bigs lineup has sort of transferred to Smooya? Maybe that's taking a little bit of Tabson's shine away?
I don't know if it's transferred to Smooya. I think, well, maybe a little bit, actually. I think Smooya's enabled in that he gets to do a lot of what he wants when he wants to. Tabson would, before, I guess, get to do what he wanted to, and then he'd have a teammate to support him. But it's maybe he's just shying away. He's pulling back a little bit because he doesn't consider himself a star of the team anymore like he was before. But he should just ask for those same flashes that he used to get, because he would be owning again as much as he used to be. But there's still team-wise Counter-Strike just so solid that I don't think he even needs to as much. But
it's all God B.
God B.
So they still got that big brain God B. Isn't he the oldest person at the major?
He's like 31.
I think he's the oldest there.
Probably then. But Gabi's been stepping up too individually. He's been having some crazy rounds. I think like what was it? The game on Train or whatever. He was like, I don't know, he got several just like 3Ks that just kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, where has this been for like 3 years?
He's got to leave it dormant just for the majors.
Yeah.
Because he did it on the last major run.
Some players do that, I've noticed. They just silent, and then it's like, oh, major, I try, because like you're saying, it actually is. It's like contract seasons in like the NBA or something like that. A guy knows his contract's about to expire, so he's gonna be just jacking up, like trying to get that 22 points per game or something like that. And then for Gabi, he's like Big might leave me behind if we don't have a good showing here. I'm gonna step up individually, and I'm gonna make sure we're just as prepped as we can possibly be. Also, they've set themselves up pretty well for it because of that, like Cologne run or whatever, or the finals run.
All right, and then the final two teams that we haven't talked about.
No, first I want to get a prediction. I want to get a prediction.
Okay.
Because we've done a prediction, and I think we disagree on this one. We do disagree on this one.
Yeah.
Who you got, Big or Navi?
I have Navi. Yeah.
You have Navi? Do you think it's a 2-1 or a 2-0?
Thinking about map pools, I think Navi can play most of the maps that Big would throw at them. So I would say 2-0.
Navi 2-0. All right. Balti agrees with you that it's Navi. He has 2-1. I'm going bold. I'm going Big 2-1. I want to go back. We're going to step back to, well, let's talk about MIBR. Let's talk about MIBR because we talked a little bit about them in the context of complexity. They're an interesting team in that they've really kind of shit the bed recently, and then they found a bit of form. They won a tournament with a bunch of opponents that they should dominate. And then they've sort of slowly found their form through this major.
Yeah, I would say so too. They looked kind of sketchy against Tyloo, but then later on when they played like G2, they looked just like a totally different team. They look so much better.
Do you think the addition of Yanko has been night and day for the roster?
I am always hesitant to say that a coach is bringing something or not bringing something. From the narrative we're getting from casters at the major and people that just like interviews or whatever, it seems like Yanko is bringing some type of structure to this team and giving them particular objectives in rounds that they should be aware of, and that they kind of have a game plan going into games more so. But when I sometimes watch their games, I don't really see that striking as hard hitting as I would think. Like with complexity, I get their objective all the time in rounds. You can just see it based off of how they move on the radar. With MIBR, sometimes it's just like I'm just gonna peek this, and like it's like with like Fur will just peek something with an MP9 because he just still does that stuff.
That's vintage Fur though.
That's Fur, but the whole point, if Yanko's here to bring this kind of collective, objective-based gaming to a team like that, then you kind of have to put away my vintage Fur so that I can buy into this. And because when he doesn't buy into it and he dies, it's just like then it's in the back of everyone else's head. All right, that's Fur just dying. Like, we said we were gonna do something. We even went over this in the game plan, and now it just like, and those little things. I mean, if you're a pro, you're not gonna let that affect you as much. Your teammates can die anywhere on the map at any given time. You still have to play the best Counter-Strike you can play, but they can kind of add up. And if someone wants to make an individual play too many times, it might just step on other people's toes, or it might step on the team's toes, or step on Yanko's toes even, and he might get frustrated, or then there's gonna be some bickering.
So you're not wild about the curve. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, like, I feel like coaches have like ever since they changed the rules on coaches, it's just like I feel like they don't bring as much value anymore. They're just kind of there for like, don't worry, man, you got this next round, you can do it.
Yeah, it's just that's why what's it? Zonic is the best coach. He's the best coach because he's giving these like meaty, just shoulder rubs every round. It's like you're having a personal masseuse just every freaking round. You have a mistake. It's like, oh yeah.
One day I want to hug Zonic. I just want to hug Zonic. Every time I see him, it's just like I want to hug that man. I bet he gives the damn hugs.
I know for a fact, if Zonic were behind me for every game, I would have like 0.2 higher HLTV rating. Just sheer just relaxation in my shoulders would go a long way. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, and I've heard from YNK that he runs a pretty tight ship, or not from YNK, but from Stewie from YNK, that like when they're doing practices, it's like if you show up late, like something bad's gonna happen. Like if
stay with the baseball bat.
Exactly, like he's cracking the whip on, and there's it sounds like the polar opposite of like Zonic and YNK. It's like YNK is like he's the captain. You listen to the captain. If something happens, I'm throwing you overboard.
I think Zonic's pretty disciplinarian as well when he needs to be. I mean, from the Australis documentaries, there was like the famous point where he took Dupree to the side and was like, "Hey, you either shape up or we're cutting you. Like we're gonna start looking for replacements," and that's when Dupree shaped up. Like I think it's a balance. I think it's a balance to strike. But now that we've broken down MIBR a little bit, we've already talked about complexity. Maui, what's your prediction? Complexity, MIBR. Who you got? What's your faith? Both are kind of NA rosters. A little bit.
This is probably, I think, my toughest pick. I think every other one I can be pretty confident about it. This one for me is like, because I want to say complexity, and then what's holding me back from saying it wholeheartedly is just that it's a big stage. Yay, despite the confidence he's shown for the past however many months, dude, it's a major finals or a major playoff. It's tough to bring the same enthusiasm.
It's different when you got that audience, yeah.
Yeah, and when Ye's always been that guy that's like, I remember at Fragadelphia, he was even the guy, like, if he gets a double entry on the bomb site, I remember in the finals or whatever, against Onage, he's like, these guys effing suck, or whatever, and just like, he keeps running forward, and it's like, he's not gonna do that against Stewie and Derek.
I want him to.
Dude, imagine all you hear from the casters, like the casters are going, and then all you hear is sucks.
Yeah.
I will lose my shit if that happens. I will
like
go
Fallen
crazy.
is washed. Fur is garbage. Pick me again, Fur. Pick me.
Yeah, like
freaking out.
These guys are idiots. Like you just hear them yelling that about Fallen or something like that. Like, what kind of pick was that? It's like, dude, I don't know if you can do that in the freaking huge stadium with a soundproof booth or like anything like that. He might just be like, the crowd is getting to him or something. So my hesitant but pick is going to be MIBR. Take it, and I would actually say 2-0 because the map pool for complexity is so similar to MIBR that like MIBR is going to ban Nuke, complexity is going to ban Dust 2. I think complexity picks Inferno, MIBR picks Cash. Final map probably is like Mirage or something, maybe Train, and like those first two maps though, MIBR can play them really well.
Do we know the map pool for complexity that well? Because the only maps they've played at this major so far are Inferno, Cash, and Mirage, and they've won all.
They played Nuke also.
Did they play Nuke?
They played Nuke against Big to win 3-0 or to take their 3-0, and they owned on it. But that's MIBR's permaban. They haven't played Mirage, but in late stage banning phases, like when they have the 5th ban and they're leaving it up to 2 possible maps left, they've left Mirage in several times. So it could be like they're not going to ban Mirage. They're going to ban. They always permaban us too. So.
All right,
that makes sense to me.
Yeah, me and Darf are going for the old complexity pick. I would like to set the precedent though that I didn't pick complexity once in my predictions for any of the matchups,
and he was wrong for all of them.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, okay, Maui, I'm gonna ask you this question. Okay, this was on day 1. So Fnatic versus complexity. I picked Fnatic, but I put out this disclaimer like in our document sheet. I put Fnatic, and then in brackets, unless it's Inferno, I pick complexity. Would you consider that a correct prediction?
No.
That's tough because you have to just, if you're making a prediction, you just have to shoot. You just have to shoot.
Yeah.
And
also vetoes are a part of predictions.
Yeah, that's the part of it too. That's why I'm saying MIBR, but it's like, oh, well, if complexity get Train and Nuke and whatever, then I think complexity is going to win. But they're not going to get those maps because that's just not, MIBR won't let that happen.
Okay, so definitive answer. Would you give me that prediction or would you say no?
I give you a half point.
No.
Half.
Whole or none.
Now we said it.
None.
Now we said
Whole
it.
or none. Whole or none. I changed the color to red. You don't get it.
No. I'm making it yellow.
I'm taking the point away from you. I'm taking
it.
I'm 27.
We've been going back and forth on this for a week. It's shenanigans.
There's no way I'd give you a full point though. I'd say if it's all or nothing, to be honest, I would give you 0 points. But
there we go.
If you're okay with half points, that does deserve one. But then everyone can do that all the time with all their predictions and always make disclaimers and how far are you gonna let that go, you know?
My favorite thing about these predictions is that there were definitely a fair number of predictions where I actually agreed. Balti would always do his first. And then there were definitely a fair number of predictions where I definitely agreed with you. And I was just like, I'm going to pick against him because that way if he's wrong, I can gloat.
Yeah. There's the trash talk side of predictions too.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And so we'll see how. Is that why you took Big?
Yeah. Wait, which one?
Item?
What a cut. No, like Big versus Navi, best of 3.
Oh yeah, that's why I took
Yeah, see, this kid's cucking me, dude. Just like straight cucking me. All right, whatever. So in our prediction game, fine. I won't even take the half point. I'll take the L on this.
Yep, that's right.
I'll take it.
Take that
whatever.
L. Hold that L.
All right. Anyways, so I'm still in the lead by 5 points. So this kid can.
Oh, okay. You're still owning.
Exactly. This kid can zuck me. All right, get out of here.
Okay. To be fair though, there's an entire morning that I didn't do because I didn't wake up in time to do it. So I only predicted. So I missed 3. I missed 3 predictions off of oversleeping.
Yeah.
Slash not oversleeping, but UK time is weird times. All right. So next prediction, we talked about Liquid. We talked about Hellraisers. Who's your pick
for Liquid Hellraisers?
Yeah.
Oh, Liquid hands down.
2-0.
2-0, yeah, for sure.
All right, there we go.
Doesn't matter what maps they are.
Yeah. I said 2-1 just to be a contrarian, but I agree it's going to be a 2-0.
Whoa. So now that you've said that on stream, is that the disclaimer, or are you going to stick with the 2-1?
No, I'm sticking with the 2-1 because the whole thing is, at this point, I'm not catching up to you unless I predict different things from you.
That's true.
Gotta go bold.
Yeah,
gotta go bold on the strap.
So even on this Liquid pick, like we'll still both get 2 points, but you'll get the extra 1 to like
get that 3
claw
points.
your way back.
Yep. That's the whole reason I'm going different. That's the reason I did the Cole 2-0. I don't think Complexity is going to 2-0 MIBR.
Yeah.
I think they might 2-1 them. But I need them points, man.
Yeah.
I need them points.
Understandable. Okay, so Astralis versus FaZe.
We haven't talked about FaZe.
Very true.
No.
Yeah.
We got to talk about FaZe.
We glazed over them.
Nico is calling now.
What was for like that one series?
What does Kerrigan bring to the team if Nico's now their IGL?
Bottom fragging.
Trimary Opper, like Not even secondary.
Low-key CT side of Mirage. Kerrigan, for
Tertiary.
some reason,
Tertiary,
is
there you go.
Yeah, tertiary. I don't know why. My team said that a lot last season, just primary offering, and I was like, it's a funny term, but it's tertiary.
I like that. Primary.
Tertiary op. I would
Yeah.
think when 4 ops are on the server, it's the QOP.
The co-op.
It's the co-op. All right, then what's the 5 op?
Too many. Or Fnatic.
Did the Fnatic op? Yeah.
It's just the
That's
Fnatic.
That was like when SK did that 4 op or like 3 op 2 auto sniper thing on train before. I remember they were just getting bodied and they just decided to pull it out, and it was like, oh, it's working. Okay.
Yep.
This is viable.
Yeah. GG's to the other team.
I'm low-key surprised you don't see the auto in more matches where one team just has insane money.
Yeah,
It's so BM, but like it
It's
works
so
every
good.
time. When you're
It's
playing
good.
at that level, like you don't lose with it.
No, it's so good. People are really good with it for sure.
Randomly good with it. Like you would think that like out of all these like officials that like maybe they kind of like lose their touch, but it's like you don't lose a touch with the auto. You just get it in your hand and you frag out. Like
As the Aussies call it, the Dak gun.
yeah.
I think the auto is the gun you realize when you're using it. It's like, oh wait, it's kind of hard to sometimes shoot me when I'm really far away from people, because you're just like, you're literally just crouching and you're just like, dope, dope, dope,
Yeah.
dope. It's like, why are none of these AKs headshotting me at this point? But it's like, oh yeah, because I'm playing like a really tight, small angle that's like good for me because I can see out really well. But like shooting into it, it's like you have to be pretty on point with that shot, you know?
Yeah, and it's like it's not even that much more expensive than the op.
No, it's
It's
not.
like you spend 250 more bucks. Oh
It's
no,
a-
I don't get a flash. Like you're gonna kill them before you need the like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you really don't even need it.
So we need
We're
some
writing
more
that.
autos.
We're
If
thorough.
Smooya, if you're watching this right now, buy the op.
The auto?
That's what I
He's-
meant. There
He's
we
too
go.
good with the op, though. All right. So, FaZe, do you think FaZe is going to recover form? Do you think they're going to figure it out for this major? Or do you think they're going to get
No.
bodied by Astralis?
I think this definitely has potential to go to 3 games, but I think Astralis closes it out for sure.
All right. Astralis 2-1.
I would say 2-1 Astralis, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on that same line.
All right, I'm
All
going
these
for the
confident.
big dick plays. I'm going for that 3-0.
Full 2-0. 2-0.
3-0.
whatever.
Dude,
Bob,
I can't
you're
even
falling
speak.
apart
No,
here.
I know.
It's falling apart.
Sorry, I
Nice.
gotta go.
It's okay. It's
All right, Balti's out. He needs to go. It's because NIP got eliminated. You didn't have an excuse to put on your headband for this.
Yeah, I'm not
He
gonna
has
keep
a-
putting on the
Yeah,
Naruto
Nip
headband
headband.
for this show today.
oh, Naruto headband, nice.
Yes.
Full headband.
I had to actually cut the I had to cut across the headband after they lost that 3-0. Or that
Are
what
you?
am I saying? That best of 3.
Is yours like the hidden in the leaves village, or is
Yeah.
it another one? Okay, all right.
Yeah. So I had to like
No
I
hide.
took out the knife and I was just like, you bastard.
You committed Sudoku on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Full Sudoku.
Full Sudoku.
Full Sudoku. All right, so we got Maui's predictions. He's going MIBR 2-0, Navi 2-0, Liquid 2-0. You're really confident in some of these rosters, and then
Yeah.
the Astralis 2-1. It's gonna be interesting. We'll see how they match up with ours.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
definitely send you a little gloating, or if you win, we'll give you a prize of some variety. I don't know what it is. It'll probably just be me buying you a beer at the next LAN we're both at.
Yeah.
you know?
Sick.
Sounds good, right?
Yeah, that's good enough for me.
That's my general prize.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about something that's a little closer to home,
Yeah,
both geographically and to all of our hearts.
the
The
league.
Mountain Dew League. The league.
The league.
The one that
league.
matters. Fuck
It
Pro
is-
League.
It is
Huh.
starting. It is
Fresh.
beginning. I'm so excited. I'm so
Same.
excited. I have the premiere podcast is ready for after this show. It is going live again.
Are you doing it today?
It's coming up right after this, bro.
Right after this? All right,
Right
folks.
after this.
Here's the second plug. Check out Balti Baby on twitch.tv/Balti Baby. He's going to be doing the premiere podcast right after this. Like,
Right,
immediately after this
like
ends.
I will be kicking up the stream. I'll probably get like a drink or something to eat, and then I'll be.
Who's doing it with you?
No, it's all me, baby.
Oh,
It's just him.
Cool.
It's
Good
it's a
start.
solo show.
Mhm.
That's what the
Okay.
green screen's up for. I had to up the production value.
Ah, nice. Yeah.
And by doing this, I mean I stole my mom's bed sheets, bro.
I was going to say, that's a real low budge green
Yeah.
taped to the wall.
yeah.
Also, your headphones
It'll-
are green, so are those just going to
Oh, yeah.
blend out?
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be a cool look,
probably.
actually. That'd be a really
Yeah.
cool look.
I like it. I
That's
like
part
it.
of the aesthetic, yeah.
Exactly.
Next-
I'm all about
It
that.
was
aesthetic.
planned. It was
Yeah.
Exactly.
planned.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's coming up after this. It took me a while. It's a nice PowerPoint presentation as always.
Yeah.
So, talking about the MDL before we talk about Balti. I know you
Yeah.
like talking about yourself, Balti, but let's slow down here, okay?
Sorry,
Slow down
dude,
here,
sorry.
bud. Storylines going to the MDL. Reduced number in the MDL. Everyone plays everybody, which is exciting. -1, right?
Yeah, because there's 18 teams, so like you only play 16 games.
Well, there's 17 teams
as of right now.
As of right now. Do we think? So here's the question: dead teams. There's been 2 dead rosters already in the MDL. One of them, Monstars, died early enough that they were replaced with Vault, who are going to be playing from South America and are going to get absolutely destroyed because of that fact. I have no confidence. I mean, if NTC couldn't play with that ping, I don't think Vault can.
Vault is a little lower. Vault is like
they live a little bit more north of
to
South
100
America rather than like down.
NTC was like 180 ping.
Yeah,
so it's like 80 ping lower. It's okay.
Yeah, I checked some VODs. It's not as bad as everybody would think, but it's still not as good as people living in NA.
Of course,
it's gonna be pretty rough.
It will be. Yeah, you're not wrong there.
They're gonna get abused on peaks.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
And then the Dignitas roster, the ex Dignitas roster is defunct. Is defunct.
Yeah,
Peter
active roster 0. This
Yeah.
team has no active roster. Active
no one
members.
on it. I know, and I picked Mitch in your fantasy draft too.
Dude, I picked Dirty Peaks Pete first overall. I am so upset.
Yeah,
That's
Peter.
rough.
Peter was a really good pick too, and now he's gone.
He's gone.
He might show up. He might show up somewhere. You know.
Here's the question. So Mitch, I'm confident will wind up on an MDL roster because Mitch is valuable and young enough that it's like, yeah, he's going to do that.
Yeah.
Does Dirty Peak Pete just say, I don't really feel like playing MDL again?
Peter, I think he's established himself enough that he can just wait for a pro offer at this point, unless he just wants a little bit more experience, and that's just like up to him at that point. You don't know until he does it.
All right, here's a random thought for you. Cloud9 kick Skadoodle, bring in Peter.
Oh, I don't think that's the answer to their problems. I like Peter.
No.
I like Peter. I don't think that's the answer to their problems. You bring you kick your inconsistent op and bring in an inconsistent op, like, and bring in an inconsistent onliner op too. Like,
very true.
I don't know.
I figured I'd just throw out the random change.
The baseless speculation.
The baseless speculation changes, exactly.
I think like a year ago, Peter was looking really hot for a bit, but then he kind of fell off again. I think that was one of his moments to shine. I don't think recently he's been shining as hard as someone Cloud9 would be confident enough in picking up to just say, bye, Skadoodle. Come over, Peter. You lost in the first round of MDL playoffs. You're
you're ready for a pro contract, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I think all that series that told me, the only thing that series told me was that Rix is done.
Yeah, that was
like his regular season play is stupid. Like, it's good. He dominates teams and then makes playoffs, and then he just is classic regular season Rix when he should be playoff Rix.
Hard rip.
That is a hard rip. Yeah. Okay, so who do they bring in now? ESEA's got to bring in another team. They got to.
Do they?
They got to.
Do they? Who do they bring in? Who do they bring in? There are no more advanced rosters that aren't dead.
It'd be like Furia or Intact, or Impact or
Intact.
But they've unequivocally said that they are not going to be bringing teams in direct into MDL.
I think they just won't do it.
So bring in a relegation team. Bring in like that's what they did with Vault. They were the runner-up relegation.
Made roster moves though. Vault was the only one who hadn't made roster moves. I was looking at it. Pretty much all of the next one up, I think, moved 3 players or 4 players. The next one after that moved 2. Like, they're not the same teams that qualified. So, do you say, hey, if you bring back that team that played in the relegation tournament, you're next up? Do you say that?
I've never seen them do anything like that before.
It'd be like, would it be Ethereal that'd be next up? Or no, Ethereal.
Ethereal's already in. They made it.
It would be Geostorm.
Maybe like Geostorm or like Fundamentals.
Yeah, Fundamentals. Yeah. Fundamentals made one change. They brought in Kwong.
Maybe they give Fundamentals a shot.
And I'd say that's an upgrade from Skelly. So, I mean, like, they might.
I would agree.
I don't know.
I don't think they'll do it. I don't think.
Here's an outlandish idea, all right, boys? I'm going to throw this out to you. I'm going to fastball this. CLG Red. Thoughts?
You're just trolling.
I think if that happened,
am I though?
if that happened, you would actually kill a bunch of like MDL fanboys would have straight up aneurysms. The rage argument, like when someone gets really mad and the vein starts throbbing in their forehead, people would just their heads would pop, explode, just rage. Second, it wouldn't be worth it for CLG Red because they would get so much hate that it would just be like they already get enough hate for getting too advanced.
Yeah,
like they would be
crazy,
like piled on in a violent way. Also, they'd get destroyed. Really bad.
They'd get piled on in a violent way. Also, they'd get destroyed.
Well, no. I mean, like, people would be terrible to them on the internet, and then also they'd get wrecked in the server because they're not ready for MDL.
Oh, yeah, so they'd basically be more of the same that they've experiencing for the past couple of years.
They didn't get relegated in advance. That's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah, they're like holding their own in advance, and always. I mean, they weren't like getting relegated from main's impossible. So they were getting relegated from main.
Yeah, they were basically just like 7, 9, 8, 8 every season.
No, but when they got invited to advanced, basically the way I looked at it was if they avoid getting relegated from advanced, they prove they belong. And they did.
They proved they belong. They did prove they belong this season.
I'm fine with it.
They don't belong in MDL.
Not at this point, no.
And I'm saying this, and they beat me in a qualifier one time. Like so, like no.
What kind of thing goes through your head when you take that L?
Just like move on. I don't know. You just hey
boys,
we weren't ready.
No, I'm kidding. What roster were you working with at that point?
It was most recent ASIO season roster.
Oh, okay.
Actually, and it was pretty early in the season. We played a qualifier as a BO1, and we lost to them on Inferno because we just kept reaggressing. Because we just did that, like because we didn't we just showed no respect, and it just bit us.
You're like female roster boys, easy advancement into the next round, and they're like, oh shit, we kind of lost.
Mistakes were made. They changed up their play style a lot. I think when Vez is their coach now. And he just kind of showed them how to play Counter-Strike and like wait for people to reaggress like every MDL team does. Just wall peek,
Because he's experienced it firsthand. He's like, this is what we're gonna do, dude. Just wait and you can just headshot them.
Yeah, that is what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in kind of MDL related news, Subtle made a few changes.
Yeah, I'm so glad they're not in the MDL anymore.
What was it? It was like A2Z out. Who else is out?
A2Z and Summit.
Yeah, and they brought in
Typhoon.
Elsa or Else.
And Typhoon, right?
And Typhoon, yes.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll make it through and they'll go MDL relegation. We'll get them back season 30.
Hopefully not.
I mean, I could see them being. Well, they're gonna make playoffs, and
are they? Do they care?
I think they care enough to make playoffs.
I think the people that are on the roster now care enough to make playoffs.
Typhoon cares enough, I think.
Typhoon does, yeah.
Surprisingly enough, I say that, and I know Typhoon's a major troll, but like I think he cares enough to make it.
Well, he cares enough because you can't talk shit if you're getting wrecked, so he's got to back it up with some games so he can talk shit online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's just gonna like make fun of him, dude. You're shit on a team and you're with Ocean, so like you're just gonna get trashed.
Yeah, that's
not the kind of thing that you want to have on your resume.
No, it's
got shit on in advanced. Ocean was also on my team.
What do you guys think the best MDL teams are though this season?
Oh, you beat me to the question. All right, I'll do my top.
I just didn't have a lot to say about Subtle, so I had to.
I
want to hear. I want to hear your top 5 first because I asked you. I mentioned that we were going to ask this. What's your top 5 going into the season?
My top 5 are Swole Patrol, Vision, Bravado. Well, that's easily my top 3. But after that, I think it falls off a tier. And then it's kind of difficult, to be honest. I'd say, I guess Team 1 would be there. 5th, though, that's like, there's like 4 teams that I could see being the 4th best. Just because I'm a fan of them, I'm just going to say Blackout, but I don't know if I'd really consider them the 5th best team, but I love it. I love that team, so I'm going to say.
Was it after you got destroyed on LAN that you were like, I like these guys?
Yeah, I talked to them after. And I've talked to Odorous a few times. He's always chill. I talked to Wrath too at Fragadelphia, and I don't know, something about him is just like he's on another level in terms of like play. So
I'll go next in this top 5 here. I will just let you know that mine's the exact same.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
You
from
put
my
Blackout?
Boring.
Blackout is my 5th. Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right, who
Cool.
else? Who you were saying that 5th spot's hard though? Who are your other picks to maybe take that 5th spot?
I could see Accelerate has been pretty impressive lately. I don't know with Gorilla King's roster change if they got better or worse. I don't know if Test Takers got better or worse. I don't know. That's probably it though. Really, maybe Vireo, but they lost Modem, and
They could get him back.
yeah, they could get him.
He's a free agent
Yeah,
now.
He is available.
Ian, I know their CEO's a fan of the Ian, so I don't know. Hit him up.
Maybe they change,
I have a
though.
question for you, and I think you have a unique perspective on this before we get into Balti's top 5, although we already know what Balti's top 5 is.
Yeah.
Azio. You were on the previous Azio roster. The only part of that that's still there is Frosty, Frost
Yeah.
AK. Bibby coached you guys as a guest coach in Tulsa, and then promptly remade the roster in his own image.
Yeah.
What do you think about this roster?
It has potential to be top 5. I just think that when you're switching a player in and out in the middle of the season, that can be a little rough. And I don't know for roles. I don't really know who the entry fragger is here.
It's
and
I can tell you that.
Is it Infinite?
Trying to remember. I think it might be Grim. Voltage is opping. Snakes is second op. Frosty. Wait.
Here's
hold
the
on.
thing, though. You have
Found
to
it for
keep 2
Bibby.
players on the roster, and they have to play the 8 games,
So they're
right?
playing with Sezi and
so Sezi
and-
has to play. So what are the
Yeah.
other 3 when they have 4?
The other, yeah.
Is
So
it
it's-
Snakes Voltage Infinite?
Well, it's for.
Or is Grim IGLing? Or is he entry fragging?
No, Frosty's a IGLing.
Oh, okay.
Frosty is
Yeah.
the IGL. I'm not sure. I should know this because I just talked to Bibby about it. I don't remember things well. I don't words good. Sometimes I words good.
I think this roster has a lot of potential individually. I don't know how they're going to come together as a team. That's the only thing. And I mean, it's tough to say, really. I haven't really seen them play that much, and when they did play, it wasn't with the 5 that they have now. And the fact that they have to play with Sezi instead of the team they had before, or just swapping out Infinite for Modem like they wanted to, I think that just makes things a little awkward. I don't know. Azio's been kind of plagued with just like bad starts for a while now, and that's because people have been just switching and like they do these like last minute changes and everything. Like it's hard to just have a good start when they added Infinite like a couple days ago, or whatever. It's just, well, I mean, maybe their first few games are going to be hard too. It's Vision and Team 1.
Yeah.
So that's like a 0-2 start. But then they can build some confidence again against 46 and 2 and Accelerate maybe, but I think Accelerate beats them. And then that's just a rough start again. And then what happens with all these teams is once you kind of have a rough start, if you have, I don't know, 3 losses out of your first 4 games, you pretty much don't think you're going to make playoffs unless you're like spectacular and know how extraordinary the circumstances were. But because they have to play with Sezi for the first 8, it's going to just be really hard for them to like regain themselves and be like, because like halfway through the season, 8 games are going to go by. They're going to have 4 or 5 losses. You're already not making playoffs then.
Yeah, you basically have to win out after that.
And that's just, I don't know. I don't see that really happening. So it's not I don't think it can be a top 5 team in terms of the standings by the end of the season.
In your ex teammates, Frosty and Seziwana.
It's just an awkward situation.
No, I agree with you. It is a weird situation. It definitely is a weird situation. I think they're kind of a wild card going into the season, just because with that weird situation and with, you've got Snakes who the last time he played MDL, he qualified for Pro League, but then hasn't played in a season in half a year because he was too young. You've got the Broken Alliance magic that they're trying to recapture, but the question is they don't have all the pieces. Maybe they're missing the critical piece. They don't have the leadership of MCE this time around. They're trying to find that spark from someone else. So that's going to be interesting. My top 3 is definitely Swole, Bravado, and Vision. I think that's going to be an easy top 3. I think Swole's going to be nuts. I think they need to find some I guess they need to settle in a little bit, but I think they're going to be nuts. Vision, I've just been impressed by them every time I've seen them play, and I think the VSA and a Proto editions made them stronger.
They're perfect.
Mhm.
They're
So
great.
good right now. I can easily see them making Pro. Bravado impressed the hell out of me, and I think they just keep getting better. I think they hit a bit of a slump in qualifiers coming off of that player break, but I think they'll find the form real quick.
I mean, once you win MDL, you kind of like might relax a little bit. Like, you guys are all in America too. Like, they're in a completely new country. Like, I want to see stuff. I don't want to.
You got to remember though, it was the 8th seed, so they only limped into playoffs. So it took them a while to find form last season too.
Yeah. That's fair. That is a fair statement.
And I mean, they kind of lucked out.
I don't think they'll underestimate this season in any way, shape, or form, because if they don't make Pro League, they're not necessarily staying in the US, right?
Yeah, they're kind of boned.
They might be gone. I
and
think
the same goes for Team One. Like both teams kind of have to, like,
Team One
either
has more leeway,
auto qualifier or relegation.
I think Team One has a little bit more leeway. They definitely want to make playoffs. I find it interesting that everyone immediately puts Team One into their top 5, because what I've seen from Team One is that yes, they absolutely have the possibility to hit that form, but sometimes the only place we've had them to compare them is qualifiers so far, and they've stumbled when they've hit teams like a Swole Patrol or a Vision in qualies. Like I think they can dom the bottom half of MDL and no problem, but I want to see more of them playing against the top team.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they've actually been rather unimpressive since they got to America. I think they're way overrated. But the thing is that they've shown throughout the advanced season that they really, I mean, they dominated advanced, but that's not really that crazy. And then the thing that's promising for them when I watch them nowadays is that they clearly have objectives and structure, and they have reactions in rounds, and you can tell that the way they go over things is really thorough. And that's something that, for one, if they keep the same roster, which they are, I'd say 90% going to do, 99% even, maybe even freaking 100% because they have I don't know. Like, they're gonna all be like on the same page with all those objectives and everything, and that's something I just really value with teams, and I can tell that when they play, they have that. And some MDL teams, they don't even go over what those objectives are, and with certain teams that have roster changes, like AZO, for example, they're going to have a change. Like, it's going to be tough to come up with the same, like, objective-based play style when you just have to make those changes. And one can just, they know their style. That's really helpful.
I want to talk about one more roster before we wrap up this MDL portion, because we've got to wrap up the show pretty quickly. And it features into something we like to do here on the show we call baseless speculation. I don't know if Griff has the meme handy, but baseless speculation. We're trying to make some memes here. Odorous tweeted out the other day, changed his profile picture to a black picture, and then hasn't said anything since then.
I mean, who are you, Ian Hardy?
Right?
Like,
so,
like, bro,
what's going on? Is he leaving the roster? Did he get kicked? Is he quitting CS? Is he moving to a cabin in the woods? Like, what's going on, man?
Okay, my baseless speculation is that so I know Odorous had a relationship during last season, just with a girl. So maybe they broke up, and I know a lot of his confidence came from being in the relationship that he was in. He even told me this. He had a very, very choice quote, which I'm not going to say word for word, but it was really funny, and it was just something along the lines of, like, the things he does with this girl, it's better than deathmatching when he goes to a game afterwards. So, I don't know. Maybe he lost that, and
Maui, wait. This is baseless speculation.
okay.
There's way too much base to it.
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're still together or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. That there's a little bit of base, but it's still a lot of speculation because he just said bye. We don't know. We don't know what that is about. Yeah. It could be. You could be right. It could be getting cut from the team. It could be. Maybe he's saying bye to MDL because he got picked up by a pro team. Who knows what it really is.
Odorous for Scott.
Odorous isn't getting it. Odorous isn't getting his PP touched. He's gonna fall way off in CS. This is a problem.
Okay, now you're making baseless speculations based off of what I said.
Yeah,
I didn't say
absolutely. I'm running away with it. This is great. This is a great thread. So that's our baseless speculation: is that Odorous is gonna blue ball his way out of the.
Oh my god!
It's a struggle. Chad, if you're watching this, give us the scoop. I tried to get a comment from him. He didn't give it to me, so we just have to go for the We just have to go for the baseless speculation because we've got nothing to go off of.
Odorous, I love you. You're the sickest hopper right now. You're also so fun to watch and like play against too. Hope you still realize that. Hope you still kill it this season. Nothing against you at all. You're sick, dude.
Oh yeah, we all love.
Yeah, gotta give a shout out. Gotta give a shout out.
You're the all-time leading MDL fragger. Keep that in mind. You are almost at 2,000. Get that.
That's not going to change if you have a girl or if you don't have a girl.
Yes.
It comes from within, my man.
It's only gonna that record's only gonna change if you let one of these plugs below you take it.
Yeah.
So all right. So get a profile picture back. None of this blacked out shit. Stick with it, Odorous. He also tweeted out earlier that if he doesn't make Pro League this season, he's done. So.
All right, that better be some motivation to kill it, dude.
Right?
Yeah, you better
kill it.
Odorous better kill it. Godorous better kill it. All right, that's going to be it for our basic speculation on Godorous. We got to wrap this up, but I do want to take some time. Thank you so much for joining us, Maui. This has been
pleasure to be here.
A lot of fun.
It was.
Let's plug anything you want to plug. We've got your YouTube, which is Maui Snake, your Twitch, Maui Snake. You're going to be casting this season. Hopefully, you're making the caster challenge. We're both going to find out about that pretty soon. So, fingers crossed.
Competition between the boys.
Oh, I'm into it. I love the healthy competition. We can do duo casts. So keep an eye on his Twitch. Follow him on Twitch if you don't already follow him. Follow him on Twitter at Maui Snake. He tweets good stuff, analysis, shit talk about players during the major. Good stuff.
Occasionally.
You're gonna be bringing back I know you've done some analysis videos. You're gonna be keeping that up.
I'm trying to make different videos But yeah, occasionally those will be there. I started doing more analyses on my stream. So if you're interested in just kind of watching what I used to do for pro player analysis, sometimes I just run a stream. I did it on Saturday and I went over 3 demos pretty in depth. 1 was a POV, 2 were just games. So if you're interested in more of that, just watch my VODs or watch me live.
All right, watch his shit, follow him, keep an eye on all his content. Any exciting announcements coming up?
Just freaking follow me on Twitter, guys, please.
When he drafted himself in fantasy, I thought you were gonna pull a sneak announcement right as the season began, and then just nothing. Nothing.
No.
He didn't want anybody else taking him, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm too hot of a commodity for someone else in Group B to get a hold of. So,
if you drop yourself, I'm picking you up just because. Just so you know.
All right, thanks. That's appreciated.
I'm gonna beat him in fantasy. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh, well, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. Also,
I'm new to it, so I don't even know this. I'm looking at the scoring and I'm like, bomb plants though. Yeah,
don't make roster changes unless someone quits, like Peter. So we're gonna have to wrap this up, but just folks, everyone watching right now, we are moving to a new time slot. We're gonna be moving to the exact same time slot on Tuesday instead of Monday. Next week. We're diversifying the schedule a little bit. The Rainbow Six podcast, which is right after this one in about 10 minutes on this channel, is taking over our Monday time slot. And so we're migrating on towards Tuesday. So in the future, Drop Room is going to be Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mark it on your calendars, circle the dates, Sharpie it in so you definitely don't miss it because you don't want to miss these faces. But we're going to be back next week, different time, same place, same faces, maybe a new face up there. Yeah. Somebody else up in the top spot. But thank you so much for tuning in. That's going to be it from us this week. Huge thank you again to Maui Snake. Say goodbye to the lovely people.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, we out.
Bye.